Hey y'all, good evening. Tonight I'm gonna make meatloaf, green beans, and mashed potatoes. Show y'all this apron. It says don't forget to bless it. Somebody sent it to me. I like it a lot. Alright, so for my meatloaf, I'm using This is 2 pounds of ground beef. Just 2 pounds. It looks real good. I got it from the pig today. Alright, the next thing I'm going to add in there, and I just washed my hands in case y'all wondering. Next thing I'm going to add in there is a can, and well, I like this. My Aunt Stacy taught me this trick. 1 can of diced tomatoes. It makes a meatloaf really good. I love doing it. I think Paula Dean does it to hers too. Anyway, 1 14-ounce can of diced tomatoes drained. Alright, the next thing I'm going to do is just sprinkle in some Italian breadcrumbs. I don't measure the breadcrumbs. I just kind of coat all the meat. This is just like a binding agent that I like to use. And if you want to use bread or crackers, you can use whatever you like. Alright, the next the seasoning that I'm going to add to this is called Kinder's Blend. The blend is what it's called. It's got salt, pepper, and garlic already in there. That's all I would use if I didn't have this. I would just do salt, pepper, and garlic powder. And sometimes maybe a little onion powder. Alright, now I've got 2 eggs. I'm going to beat those up. And I'm going to add in there just a splash of milk. I don't know why I do this. I've just always done it. And my meatloaf is pretty good. Alright, got that beat up. I'm going to add that in there. I just put probably about 3 or 4 tablespoons of milk. Maybe not even that. Just for the eggs. Alright, the next thing and final thing I'm going to add is a half of an onion that I've diced up really well. This is a Vidalia onion from Vidalia, Georgia. They're my favorite onions because they're not so tangy. They're kind of sweet, but they still got a good flavor to them. Alright. Just some half of an onion. So if you want more, that's a whole. Alright, now I'm going to use just a meat chopper and I'm going to chop this all up together. Everything mixed in really good. Alright, now I don't like a big thick meatloaf. I just don't. So I'm using a small pan. And I'm going to get some spray and spray it down and put the meat in the pan. I'm going to bake at 375 for about an hour or so. But I'll come back when I check it. Alright, y'all, I've got 4 huge potatoes. But I figured, you know, each of us in our family could eat a potato each. So I'm just going to cut these in rounds and then I'm going to quarter the rounds. I just dropped some potatoes. For all of my new followers, people have been wanting to hear about my life, and I really don't know what to tell y'all. I'm 16 years old. I'm from Gilberttown, Alabama. What's that phrase? We're something on the mount.
I don't know, but if you come through Gilberttown and blink your eye, you'll miss it.
You really will. There's 1 red light.
2 stop signs.
Some people wouldn't even consider it a town. Some people would just consider it a community, but we're grateful for our little town.
We got a Piggly Wiggly.
Yeah, we do. We got a Piggly Wiggly, and we got a gas station, and 1, 2, how many restaurants? 1, the Harbor, G-Town Place, Blasco's, 3 or 4 restaurants, King Chick, and we did have an old house. It was called the Merritt House. It was the oldest house in Gilberttown, I do believe.
That's really old.
But anyway, they tore it down, and I'm not going to get into that because I don't want my opinion to hurt anybody's feelings. But they tore down the beautiful house. It was beautiful to put a Dollar Tree and Family Dollar. You know, they're putting those everywhere now. So I guess our town's getting a Dollar Tree and Family Dollar. We already got a Dollar General, or a DG Market's what it's called. But we got 2 banks in Gilberttown. We've got, during the summer, there's a great little snow cone place, a snow cone stand. We've got about 950 churches. Got a lot of churches. We've got 2 boutiques for women to buy them some clothes. A children's store, a children's clothes store. We've got a funeral home, a car wash, a museum, but I don't know if it's open. Is the museum open? Just for like special events, isn't it?
Yeah, they only open like certain days of the week. And we have to drive almost 40 minutes to get to Walmart.
Yep. But
We love it here.
we do. Like I said, me and my grandmother love to cook together, and she went to be with the Lord January 29th, 2021. I miss her every day, but I wouldn't want her back. But yeah, she's the one that taught me everything I know about cooking. We cooked together for everything. She cooked. That's why I like Miss Brenda so much, is because they're so similar.
Yeah.
There's stuff that Miss Brenda says, and I'm thinking, well, that's just like what Granny would say. But give y'all a little family history. My great-grandparents were Henry and Alice Johnson, and they had 5 children. There was Uncle Jimmy, Aunt Betty Ann, my granddaddy, my Aunt Brenda, and my Uncle James, but we call him Uncle Brother. But they all got married and had kids, and my Papa Earl, his name was Cecil Earl, and my name is Cecil Kaysen, and that's one thing Miss Brenda was talking about. Her daddy's name was Cecil. Mm-hmm. But anyway, they had 3 children, my Uncle Scotty, my mama, and my Aunt Stacy, and they had children. But that's how I got here, I guess. Started with my great-grandparents and then just worked its way down. And then that was my pawpaw side of the family. My granny side of the family, they're from Butler, or a community called Land. But I just say Butler. That's what everybody knows it by. It's going to be a lot of mashed potatoes.
That's okay.
But anyway, my grandmother had 5 siblings. My granny did. 5 siblings. There was...
JC.
Was he wasn't oldest. Aunt Geraldine was, wasn't she?
Yeah, Geraldine.
There was Aunt Geraldine, Uncle JC, Aunt Lily Ruth, Granny. Her name was Doris, Aunt Ann, and my Uncle Trey Trey, and he was a nut. He was crazy, but the funny kind of crazy. He'd be on your side if you ever got in trouble. But mainly he was the one getting in trouble. But anyway, Aunt Geraldine, Uncle JC, Granny, and Trey Trey that's what we called him, Trey Trey, have all went to be with the Lord. Granny and Trey Trey died within just a few months apart. I guess they liked each other too much to be apart from each other long. But there's Aunt Lily Ruth and Aunt Ann left, and they both live in Butler. And my Aunt Leo loves yard sales. Her and Granny were yard sellers. They would buy stuff and decide that they didn't need it and then go sell it to make $1 off of it. But anyway, I'm on enough about me. These potatoes. This is a lot of potatoes. I'm not going to salt these too much because I like to add salt when they're done. So I'll put probably just about a teaspoon in there just to help them get soft and tender. And then I'll be back when the meatloaf's ready, and I'll show y'all how to do green beans too. Look at that meatloaf, y'all. A way to check and see if your meatloaf is done. Cut a hole in it, mash it down, and if clear grease comes out of it, it's done. But if it's red, it's not done. I like to just soak up some of the grease with a paper towel. I drain some of the grease off, like held it over the sink and caught it in a paper towel and let it drain. But I'm just going to dab some of this grease off because I don't want too much. And I'm going to just chunk that right in the garbage. And ketchup. And I'm going to fill it up. Let's see how much that is. That's 1 cup. I'm going to fill it up to about 1.5. See how much that is. That's about 1.5. I'm going to add about 3 tablespoons of brown sugar. Now, what this brown sugar is going to do, for one, it's going to balance the acidity in the meatloaf because the meatloaf's got tomatoes, and in the ketchup. 2, it's going to caramelize on top of the meatloaf because we're going to put it back in the oven. And oh y'all, it's going to be so, so good. So I put about 3 heaping tablespoons. Alright, now what I'm going to do on top of the meatloaf is just pour that delicious sauce all over. And we like extra. We like it all down in the sides, and we like to eat this like a gravy on top of the mashed potatoes. Okay, now my oven is still on 325 or 375. I'm going to pop this back in there for about 10-15 minutes. Look at that meatloaf, y'all. Right out of the oven. I put it back in there for 15 minutes after I put that sauce on there. Alright, y'all. I've got the potatoes cooked. I'm going to add a couple tablespoons of butter, black pepper, a good bit of salt. They don't have any salt in them. You got to really salt potatoes. They soak it up. Add some sour cream. This is a game changer. Just a little bit. And then I would add heavy whipping cream, but at the store that I went to, it was $7. And I said, I'm not paying that. Looks like we got a visitor. I'm going to add just some heavy cream, or some half and half. That's my niece walking back behind me. And then I'm going to take this over to my hand mixer and beat it up, and I'll be back. There's the whipped potatoes.